High Commander Zeth Kalar of the Hegemony's Third Conquest Fleet had studied the intelligence reports thoroughly. The humans controlled merely 43 star systems, a pitiful territory, compared to the Hegemony's domain of over 3,000 worlds. Their technology appeared crude by galactic standards, their ships slow and bulky, their military doctrine primitive. It should have been the easiest conquest in Hegemony history. The warning came from an unexpected source, a battered refugee ship from the Cygnus Syndicate that had somehow made it across the galactic arm in just 6 hours, a journey that should have taken weeks. "Don't go into human space," the Syndicate captain had wheezed through his translator, his carapace cracked and his compound eyes dim with exhaustion. "We tried to take their mining colony at Ross 128. They turned our entire fleet into scrap metal in 17 minutes. Zeth Kalar had dismissed the report as the ravings of a defeated commander. The Cygnus Syndicate was weak, their ships outdated. Of course, humans could defeat them. But the Hegemony was different. They had conquered half the galaxy through superior firepower and relentless efficiency. Now, as his flagship Dominion's Edge led a force of 50,000 vessels toward the Sol system, Zeth Kalar felt the confidence of inevitable victory. The humans had been issued an ultimatum 3 standard days ago: surrender unconditionally or face total annihilation. They had chosen silence. "High Commander," his sensor operator reported, "we're detecting the edge of human space. No defensive perimeter visible. Their outer colonies appear undefended." Zeth Kalar's mandibles clicked in satisfaction. The humans were apparently too primitive to even establish proper border defenses. This would be over before it began. "Take us to their homeworld. We'll make an example of Earth that the entire galaxy will remember." The fleet advanced into the Sol system in perfect formation, 50,000 ships arranged in the traditional Hegemony assault pattern. As they passed the orbit of the humans' outermost gas giant, Zeth Kalar noticed something odd. The space around them was completely empty. No patrol ships, no defense platforms, not even automated sensor buoys. "Sir," the communications officer called out, "we're receiving a transmission from Earth." "Put it through." The main screen flickered to reveal a human female in military uniform, her dark skin bearing the scars of combat, and her eyes holding the cold patience of a seasoned warrior. Behind her, a command center buzzed with activity, displays showing tactical information that Zeth Kalar couldn't quite decipher. "I'm Admiral Sarah Chen of the United Earth Defense Force," the human said calmly. "You are currently trespassing in sovereign human territory. This is your only warning. Turn around and leave immediately." Zeth Kalar's throats vibrated with what passed for laughter among his species. "Human, you face 50,000 ships of the Hegemony's finest. Your pathetic species controls barely 40 systems. Surrender now, and we may allow some of your people to serve as slaves." Admiral Chen's expression didn't change. "I see. Well, you were warned." She turned to someone off-screen. "Colonel Martinez, you may begin the demonstration." Before Zeth Kalar could ask what she meant, space around his fleet began to shimmer. The first indication that something was terribly wrong came from his sensor operator. "High Commander, I'm reading massive energy spikes throughout the system. But there's nothing on visual." The stealth fields deactivated simultaneously. Where moments before there had been empty space, the Sol system suddenly blazed with the energy signatures of human vessels. Not hundreds or thousands, but millions. Ships materialized from every direction, from behind asteroids, from within the gas giant's atmosphere, from positions that should have been impossible to occupy undetected. "Impossible," Zeth Kalar breathed. "Our scans showed nothing." Admiral Chen reappeared on the screen, her calm demeanor unchanged. "Let me explain something about human space, Commander. We've been expecting visitors like you for over a century. Every system, every planet, Every asteroid belt is defended. What you're seeing is just the sole defense grid, and it's not even our main fleet. Zeth Kalar's tactical display updated frantically as his computers tried to catalog the human forces. The numbers were staggering. Where his intelligence had suggested the humans possessed perhaps 10,000 military vessels total, he was now facing what appeared to be over 2 million ships just in this one system. Your intelligence was correct about one thing, Chen continued. Our ships are slower than yours. Our weapons use primitive chemical propellants and nuclear fusion. But you made one critical error in your analysis. What error? Zeth Kalar whispered, his confidence evaporating. You assumed we would fight fair. The human fleet didn't attack immediately. Instead, they moved with coordinated precision that spoke of centuries of planning and preparation. Smaller vessels took positions to cut off escape routes, while massive carriers deployed clouds of fighters. Ships that had seemed crude and bulky from a distance revealed themselves to be bristling with weapon systems that defied easy classification. You see, Chen explained, humans learned a long time ago that we're not the strongest species in the galaxy, or the fastest, or the most advanced. But we are the most paranoid. Every human child learns about the possibility of alien invasion from the moment they can walk. Our entire civilization is built around one central principle. No one invades human space and lives to tell about it. Zeth Kalar's fleet began to move, attempting to break through the human lines, but it was like trying to swim through honey. For every direction they turned, human ships were already waiting. The coordination was flawless, as if every vessel was controlled by a single mind. How? Zeth Kalar demanded. Our intelligence showed primitive communication systems, no unified command structure. You scanned our civilian networks, Chen interrupted. Our military communications operate on principles your scientists haven't discovered yet. We've been watching you since you entered the outer system, tracking every ship, analyzing every weapon signature. Your entire fleet is already targeted. The demonstration began with surgical precision. Human ships opened fire, not to destroy, but to disable. Hegemony vessels found their engines crippled, their weapons offline, their life support systems failing. Within minutes, the proud Third Conquest fleet was reduced to 50,000 helpless hulks drifting in space. This is your education, Commander, Chen said, as rescue shuttles began evacuating the disabled hegemony ships. When you return to your masters, you will tell them what you learned here. Human space is not to be invaded. Human colonies are not to be attacked. Human ships are not to be molested. Zeth Kalar watched in horror as his ships were systematically neutralized, without a single human vessel being destroyed. The efficiency was terrifying, the coordination inhuman. But we're not monsters, Chen continued. Your crews will be returned to hegemony space unharmed, along with your ships, after we've removed their weapons and navigation systems, of course. Consider it a gift and a message. As hegemony personnel were loaded onto human transports, Zeth Kalar realized the true scope of his defeat. This hadn't been a battle, it had been a carefully orchestrated lesson. The humans had been prepared for exactly this scenario, probably for longer than his species had been spacefaring. The galaxy will hear of this, he managed to say. Admiral Chen smiled for the first time, but there was no warmth in it. We're counting on it, Commander. The message is simple. No one invades human space. Ever. The next species that tries won't be getting a demonstration, they'll be getting a funeral. As the disabled hegemony fleet was escorted to the edge of Sol System and released, word began to spread through the galaxy's criminal networks, military intelligence services, and diplomatic channels. The humans weren't the primitive species everyone had assumed. They were the galaxy's best-kept secret, and they intended to keep it that way. No one invaded human space. Not anymore.